something like that can't function as a trademark. Remember in the U.S. what I said, very broad. Always think broadly when you're thinking about trademark rights in relation to your business and practice. Scent and sound. Is there any particular reason why motor oil has to smell fruity?
No.
Do we care?
No.
So if you are working, in a body shop and you smell vanilla motor oil, well, if the manufacturer of that motor oil has taken a lot of pains to connect that scent to their hard product or their good or their service or their name, then it's functioning, it's serving as a trademark. Because all it's really saying is, when I'm working in a body shop and I smell vanilla motor oil, I'm thinking of this company. And if I'm thinking of this company, it's serving the function of a trademark. Broad, broad, broad scope. Now when you log on and you hear you've got mail, you know that's AOL. When you hear Yahoo, you know that's Yahoo. That's very simple. That's a sound mark. It's not the literal element that's protected in our office, although they are protected, but it's also the sound mark. Position marks. This is one of my favorite because I grew up in Colorado, and so I think until I was in high school, the only thing I ever wore were red tab Levi's. So I love using this example because now even when I see red tag Levi's, even when I see a red tag, I think of Levi's because I've been conditioned to know the location and to know the color. And then Levi's changed it up, and they went with silver, and they went with orange, and they went with all these different colors. But the idea is that their tag will always appear in the same location on their jeans. And that location, not necessarily the color, although the color is protected as well in relation to the location, but in this example, the location of the tag on the pocket is what's protected, and we refer to that as a position mark. Touch. So this is what I would call the emerging area in trademark law. Internationally, jurisdictions can decide whether they want to require trademark applicants to only file marks where they're capable of a graphical representation. That can't happen with flavor, right? So on the left-hand side, we had an applicant that came in and they wanted to register flavor, the orange flavor, for use in connection with pharmaceutical products. And the reason why I like this case is because our board didn't say, no, you can't ever, 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 ever do it. And when I say our board, it's because this application went through the process. It was refused by an examiner, and then it was reviewed by our Trademark Trial and Appeal Board on appeal. The board essentially said, flavor marks are possible, just not in this case. So we're still waiting for that flavor trademark. We hope the U.S. will have the first one. But touch, this is an area, most offices that accept what we consider non-traditional marks, and that's all the sound, scent, position marks that I've just spoken about. Most offices around the world are also accepting touch marks as well. Then I just want to touch very quickly on trademarks versus trade dress, because you may hear that term. And what's the difference? On the right-hand side, you have the actual trademark, Adidas symbol. On the left-hand side, you have a sneaker that if you saw it from afar, you'd think, I think that's an Adidas. And that's what we consider the look and feel. And when we start talking about look and feel, it can relate to the decor of a restaurant. It can relate to the way that the symbol appears on the speaker. And the look and feel, collectively, together, is referred to as trade dress. And I like this example. This trade dress can also, as I mentioned, be the restaurant design. So even if you've ever seen this, you don't see it very often because McDonald's is such a popular franchise, but if you've ever seen a McDonald's that's out of business, you still know that it's McDonald's, even if they've taken the arts down, right? even if they've taken the term McDonald's down, looking at that building, you still know because there's consumer recognition now that attaches to that building.
I've never seen a McDonald's out of business.
Drive around in Detroit.
Waters machine.
All right, how are trademarks protected in the U.S.? We've already touched on this. Different ways to protect: state registration, federal registration, that's the United States Patent and Trademark Office, common law rights that attach once you start using the mark in interstate commerce, and then of course there are things that are protected by federal statute. I heard someone on the phone earlier talking about the Red Cross, protected by federal statute, the Olympic symbols protected by federal statute, and I put the Girl Scouts up there, so I would like that as well. And so that you don't have to listen to me talk, I'm going to touch on very quickly how you file, but I'm going to use a video. So there you go, Eve.
Thank you.
What a bargain, right? So if you file what we would consider a pretty good application that has all the required elements, and you file it electronically,